Hi everyone, I am here with your 622 lesson, What is the area? In this lesson, or area of a rectangular shape. In this lesson, you will continue to study variables in more depth by using them to describe dimensions of area of different shapes. Then you will organize those descriptions into algebraic expressions. As you work with your teammates, use the following questions to help focus your team's discussion. How can we organize groups of things? Which is the area? What is the area? Which lengths can vary? So we're going to start by looking at problem 680. 680 says area of algebra tiles. Your teacher will provide your team with a set of algebra tiles. Remove one of each shape from the bag and put it on your desk. Trace around each shape at your paper. Look at the different sides of the shapes. So, if you're at home, you have, and actually everyone has these algebra tiles. They're paper algebra tiles. There are three of them. You have this tile, which is the square, you have this rectangle, and then you have the little square. So you're going to want to cut some of these out to use them. And then once you do, you're going to want to trace each of them onto your paper. So go ahead and pause the video and do that now. If you're back with me, you've cut out your algebra tiles and you've traced them. So I'm not going to trace them. I'm just going to kind of sketch them out here to save time. But I have my square, I have my rectangle, and I have my little square. It's more of a rectangle. My little square. Okay. A says, with your team, discuss which shapes have the same side lengths and which ones have different side lengths. Be prepared to share your ideas with the class. On your trace drawings, color code the lengths that are the same. So take out a couple crayons, markers, color pencils. Color pencils and crayons are going to work the best. And color code the lengths that are the same. Okay, if you're back with me, you have done that. So I'm just going to take a couple colors here, and we're going to do a little bit of color coding. So this length and this length on your rectangle are the same, which means that it's also the same as every side of your square, if you notice that. As for our unit tile, it's a square, so they all have the same size, or they all have the same side length. And then that side length is also the ends of your rectangle. All right. So if you kind of put these side by side, you could see that as well. It might help you out a little bit. So B says each type of tile is named for its area. In this course, the smallest square will have a side length of 1 unit, so the area is 1 square unit. Thus, this tile will be called 1, or the unit tile. Can you use the unit tile to find the side lengths of other rectangles? Why or why not? So go ahead and answer part B. Okay, so hopefully you came up with the idea that you cannot do this. To find the area. Okay, so for B, again, I'm just going to reiterate, you cannot use the unit tile to find the area. So looking at part C. If the side lengths of a tile can be measured exactly, then the area of the tile can be calculated by multiplying these two lengths together. The area is measured in square units. For example, the tile at right measures 1 unit by 5 units, so it has an area of 5 square units. The tile at right has one side length that is exactly 1 unit long. If we cannot give a numerical value of the other side length, what can we call it? So pause the video and try and figure out what you could call it. Okay. Hopefully you said you can give it a variable. Because it's unknown. So then for D, it says if the known length is called X, if the unknown length is called X, label the side lengths of each of the 4 algebra tiles you traced. So we actually only traced 3, which is fine. Find each area and use it to name each tile. Be sure to include the name of the type of units it represents. So we're going to go back to what we drew, and we're going to start here. We know that each side length of that unit tile is 1. So 1 times 1 is 1. So this is going to be 1 unit squared. So from comparing our side lengths, we know that the short side lengths on the rectangle are also going to be 1s. This is an unknown, so we're going to make it x. For the area, we could do x times 1, which is just x units squared. Finally, if we know that this is x, all of these side lengths of that square are going to be x. So we want to do x times x for our area, which is going to make it x squared units squared. Okay. So now we've done all of 680. We're going to look at problem 682. Problem 682 says, when a collection of algebra tiles is described with mathematical symbols, it is called an algebraic expression. Take out the tiles shown in the picture below and put them on your table, or use the 682 student e-tool. You can just use the picture that's given to you right here. Use mathematical symbols, numbers, variables, and operations to record the area of this collection of tiles. Write at least 3 different algebraic expressions that represent the area of this tile collection. So problem 682 is going to be the last problem that you do for today's lesson. We are going to save it to talk about it in class. If you want to try problem 683, it will help you as well. I will tell you it gets a little tricky, but you do not have to do problem 683. It is just good extra practice. So 682 is the last problem that you have to do. We are going to save it and talk about it in class. When you are finished with your notes, please make sure you take a picture and upload them. And if you have any questions, as always, please email me.